and welcome back. A major political and organization crisis has erupted within the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, following a dramatic move by the faction led by Chikadibia, Edoziem, to suspend the group's leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The development has sent shock waves through supporters of the separatist movement, both in Nigeria and across the diaspora. What began as internal disagreements has now escalated into a full-blown leadership battle, with both sides claiming legitimacy and accusing each other of violating the constitution and principles of the organization. The controversy started when the Edoziem-led Directorate of State, popularly known as the DOS, announced that it has suspended Nnamdi Kanu after reviewing what they describe as an intelligence report presented during a leadership meeting. According to the faction, the report contained information concerning alleged meetings between Kanu and officials of Nigeria's security agencies, including the Department of State Services, DSS, and the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, while he remains in detention. The group claimed that the decision was taken in order to protect the movement from actions that could undermine its objectives and expose members to unnecessary risk. Beyond the suspension, the Edoziem faction went further by removing Kanu from his position as a director of Radio Biafra. The group argued that IPOB belongs to the collective aspirations of Biafrans and was not established as the personal property of any individual. According to the faction, no single person possesses the authority to dismantle or override the organization's central leadership structure. They insisted that their actions were aimed at preserving the movement and preventing what they describe as reckless assumptions of power that could endanger the lives and freedom of members. The faction also raised concerns about alleged plans to establish a new militia structure, warning that such a move could trigger fresh instability in the southeast region. According to the statement, there was a need to stop criminal elements from using the authority of the IPOB leader's office as a cover-up for activities that do not align with the group's original structure. The statement emphasized that any future actions taken under the authority of the suspended office should not be attributed to IPOB as an organization, but solely to those involved. However, the response from the official IPOB leadership was swift, forceful, and uncompromising. Through its spokesperson, Ima Powerful, the organization completely rejected the suspension and described it as null and void. According to IPOB, Chikadibia, Edoziem, and members of what it called the dissolved third administration of the Directorate of State no longer possess any authority within the movement. The group insisted that Nnamdi Kanu had already dissolved the administration led by Edoziem and replaced it with a newly constituted fourth Directorate of State headed by Chris Nwago. In a strongly worded statement, IPOB argued that any decision made by individuals who no longer occupy recognized positions within the organization had no legal or constitutional standing. The group maintained that under the IPOB Code of Conduct, only the Supreme Leader possesses the authority to appoint, suspend, remove, or dissolve principal officers and administrative structures. According to the organization, no coordinator, committee, directorate, or collective body can override or suspend the Supreme Leader under any circumstances. The statement further described the suspension as a constitutional impossibility and accused the Edoziem faction of attempting to usurp powers that do not belong to them. IPOB said the actions of the former leadership amounted to insubordination and misconduct. The group directed members worldwide to ignore all directives, appointments, suspensions, and pronouncements coming from Edoziem and his associates, insisting that their tenure had already been lawfully terminated. At the heart of this crisis lies a deeper struggle over authority, loyalty, and the future direction of the movement. For years, IPOB has relied heavily on Nnamdi Kanu's leadership and influence. Even while in detention, Nnamdi has remained the central figure around whom the organization revolves. This latest dispute raises significant questions about internal cohesion and whether the movement can maintain unity during a period of internal disagreements. Observers note that leadership disputes of this magnitude often create uncertainty among supporters and can have lasting consequences for organizations operating under difficult circumstances. Adding another dimension to the controversy is Kanu's own recent open letter to Nigerians, in which he accused the federal government and sections of the judiciary of engaging in what he described as executive and judicial fraud. In the lengthy statement, Kanu revisited several court rulings concerning his case and argued that legal decisions favorable to him had been ignored or undermined. He alleged that certain institutions had collaborated to ensure his continued detention despite court judgments questioning the legality of his arrests, rendition, and imprisonment. These claims have further fueled debates about justice, due process, and the political implications of his prolonged detention. Political observers believe that the timing of this leadership crisis is particularly significant because it comes at a period when discussions surrounding Kanu's legal battles and possible release continue to attract national attention. Supporters of the detained IPOB leader argue that internal divisions could weaken efforts aimed at securing his freedom, while critics believe the dispute reveals deeper structural problems within the organization itself. For now, both factions remain firmly entrenched in their positions. The Edoziem faction insists that its actions were necessary to protect the movement, while the official IPOB leadership maintains that the suspension is unconstitutional and carries no legitimacy. As a result, supporters around the world are left watching closely to see how the situation develops and what impact it may have on the future of the organization. One thing is certain: the battle for control, the battle for legitimacy and authority within IPOB has entered a new and highly unpredictable phase. Whether this crisis eventually leads to reconciliation, further division, or a complete restructuring of the movement remains to be seen. But there is no doubt that this is one of the most significant internal disputes the organization has faced in recent years. What do you think about the suspension of Nnamdi Kanu by the Edoziem faction? Is this a legitimate leadership action or unconstitutional power struggle? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more breaking news and political updates. I am Tony, and many thanks for watching.